Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm back again with another video, and this video is going to be a response to Tekken 101. Of course, I can't actually leave video responses anymore, so I'm just going to have to send him this video. But he recently made a video, which was basically a video on Aizen and whatnot, what his role in the story is going to be. It was called Discussion, Aizen's Return to Bleach, yes. And I decided that I'd make a sort of response video to that video. So, yeah, let's just get on with it then. So, obviously, in case you weren't aware, Aizen will be returning to Bleach. Like, he has been referenced like 2 or 3 times by Juha Bach in this arc alone, and Kubo has revealed in interviews that Aizen's role in the story is not done yet. Which means obviously he will be returning to Bleach. But what's going to happen when he does return to Bleach? Now, most people would say that he's not really going to play a big role in the story. He's just going to be there. And some people would say this because supposedly, according to the because of the Hogyoku, he lost all of his powers. So how could he possibly play a pivotal role in the series? You know, well, obviously Kubo wouldn't have someone like Aizen return to Bleach if he's not going to play a pivotal role in the series. Alright? He just wouldn't. Like, that would be stupid. Alright? For him to return to Bleach and not play a pivotal role. Because a lot of people don't like Aizen. I personally love Aizen. But he's still a hugely, immensely either popular or infamous character, depending on how you look at it. So, he'll need to play a major role in the series. That's number one. If not, myself and a lot of other people are going to be pissed. Alright. The next thing is, what role will that be? Alright. And there's really 2 sides to this. Either he'll help out the Soul Society take down the Quincy's, or actually 3 sides. Or he'll help out Juha Bach, which is highly doubtful. Or he'll just go on his own, escape to Waco Mundo and try to figure out some way to get his powers back, unless he's able to get them back from the Soul Society, and then plot his revenge, essentially. Because if Aizen's... But really, the 2 ways this could go is he going to be help out the Soul Society, which would be him being a protagonist, or at least a pseudo-protagonist, or is he going to continue being a villain? Now, there are lots of arguments, I think, for both sides. On one hand of things, on the first hand of things, up until his defeat, you never really got any sense that he could have been redeemed. So that's really the biggest thing that people would say. He better not be a redeemable villain, because he was been a villain for so fucking long. And I can kind of understand this, but there are a few things that a lot of people, myself included, have assumed ever since Aizen was defeated. And those were his words to Kisuke Urahara before Kisuke sealed him away. And his words, I don't remember his exact words, but I do know that his words were something along the lines of, why would you subjugate yourself to that thing with all of your intelligence? Alright, and that tells me that maybe the Spirit King wasn't, is actually evil, and that Aizen was trying to create the Okins by sacrificing all those lives in order to kill the Spirit King and replace him, because he could see the king and he saw that he was truly evil incarnate. I mean, I know it would be kind of weird after all this time, but, it's something, and it's definitely something that needs to really be considered. Alright, that maybe the Spirit King is evil, maybe the Spirit King will be the final enemy, which a lot of people are theorizing right now. So, yeah, it's something to definitely take into consideration here. Alright, and there's also the whole thing with what Ichigo said to Aizen, or to Urahara after Aizen was fully defeated and sealed away, which was when Ichigo was clashing swords with Aizen. All he could feel from Aizen and his blade was sadness. instead of, joy that he gotten so powerful. And he claims that the reason for this, he thinks, is because he was so powerful that no one could stand up to him in terms of power, and he assumed that because of this, Aizen just wanted to find someone who could who could actually defeat him in combat, and eventually he just gave up on the prospect of anyone actually defeating him. And that's basically where his arrogance came from, in a sense. And Ichigo also theorized that the reason Aizen actually lost his powers was because the true power of the Hogyoku was to manifest the true desires that lies in the wielder's heart. And so Aizen's true desire was to lose his powers, and so he did. Even though he wouldn't actually admit it out loud, those were actually his true desires. So it's something to definitely take into consideration here. And I think I would actually, if Kubo does it right, I would act as in not just brings it up not just mentions it shortly before or shortly after Aizen gets reintroduced, but actually has build up to it in this arc until it's finally actually fully revealed. I think that it would actually work out really well, and I personally would really like that. Alright. So yeah, that's something to definitely think about. Okay, now, that might not be the case, but I couldn't really see him helping out Juhabak because Juhabak already tried to recruit him as a war potential, and Aizen turned him down. So I couldn't, because Aizen, if he's still evil, Aizen's not the type of villain that follows. Aizen has to lead or he will not be satisfied with it. Alright, so yeah, Aizen's not going to follow anyone. Aizen is a leader through and through. A ruthless leader, mind you, but a leader nonetheless. There's no way in hell he's going to follow Aizen. Period. Okay. So, yes. Or, follow Aizen. Follow Juhabak, yes. So, really, what else is there to say about this character, though? I have no idea when he's going to return. Some people were saying that that was actually Shunsui, or that was actually Aizen in the place of Shunsui before because, he didn't have his eye patch, and then I think most people are saying now that it was just a writing error, but you never know. Like, even if it was a writing error, or a drawing error, Kubo could have seen that later on and decided to take advantage of that mistake and actually make it part of the plot. You never know. But right now, I do think, regardless of where he's at, I do think that Aizen is out of the prison right now. After Juhabak basically washed over the Soul Side with the Vondenreek, I think that gave Aizen the perfect opportunity to escape from the prison. What could he do right now till he gets his powers back? Who knows? He might still have his powers, at least his Zanpakuto powers, because his Zanpakuto is part of him now. If it wasn't, his Zanpakuto disappeared, but if it wasn't part of him now, because it disappeared, he would have just died, regardless of whether he's immortal or not. Because if his Zanpakuto is dead, then he would have to die too. The fact that he's immortal is irrelevant. Alright, so yeah, that's another thing. He's immortal, so that kind of gives him a huge fucking advantage against anyone in the goddamn series right now. He's fucking immortal as shit, so yeah, that's something to also consider as well. Who would actually be able to, besides Ichigo and maybe Juhabak, who else would be able to pose a threat to this guy when he's fucking immortal? So, yeah, that's the whole reason they weren't able to kill Aizen. Because obviously they would have killed Aizen because of all the shit he did. But the reason they weren't able to is because he's fucking immortal. So, yeah. Now, even if Aizen does decide to help the Soul Society, and he helps them take out all the Quincy's, and maybe the Spirit King if the Spirit King's the final villain. And Aizen survives. Oh yeah, the Spirit King's another one who could probably take on Aizen on. Definitely, actually. But those three are the only ones I can think of there. But anyways, though, even if Aizen does do all that, they're not going to allow him to become captain again. They won't even allow him to stay in the Serete. I think he'd be lucky. After that, there'd only be two other options for him. They might be lenient with him because he helped them take out the Quincy's who threatened the balance of the entire fucking universe. But would only be two options there. First off, any powers that he would get back would probably be stripped from him. Okay? And then he would be sentenced to either the Rukon District or the World of the Living. Probably. The best bet, I think, would probably be the World of the Living. That's where people are usually sent when their powers are stripped from them. Although, there was Ron Tao, whose powers were stripped from her, but... Well, I mean, she was a filler character, but still. Kubo has never came out and stated that arc is non-canon. So, yeah. Anyways. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Aizen's return. I am eagerly anticipating it. He's one of my favorite characters in the series, and I can't wait until he comes back to see exactly what Kubo is planning on doing with him. I really hope it's epic. I really hope it's better than before. Like, I mean, there's also something else that people don't seem to understand. Like, Aizen, if he's able to get his powers back that he had before, his transcendent powers, like, he'll be virtually unstoppable, definitely, even if he wasn't immortal, by almost any character in the series. Simply because, at the end there, Ichigo might have had more power than Aizen, but Aizen was still stronger than Ichigo because of that regeneration ability. Even after Aizen got basically split down the middle by Mugetsu, he instantly started regenerating himself. I don't know if that was intentional or if it just happened that way, but he instantly started regenerating himself. So if it wasn't for Urahara's Kido to seal Aizen away, Ichigo would not have won that fight. Aizen would have won. So yeah, so Aizen's a pretty threatening foe, definitely. But anyways, I think I'm gonna call it quits for this video here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.